Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome tonight's guests of honor, John Taylor, Dwight Hicks, and Billy Griggs in honor of his late brother David. Good evening, everyone. My name is Eric Mossop. I'm the athletic director here at Pennsauken High School. I'd like to welcome all of you to Pennsauken High School, my alma mater, and the home of champions on the field and in the classroom. Before we begin, I'd like to thank the award-winning Pennsauken High School Apache Marching Band under the direction of Miss Jennifer Lingesso. I'd like to thank Ross Pyle, Steve Sperduto, Mike Panarella, and Meg Snyder for organizing the alumni event beforehand, where so many of you can meet and catch up and just share good times. Thank you very much. I'd also like to recognize and congratulate the Silverian family who's in attendance, who's being honored by the Taliaferro Foundation later next month. I'd like to also recognize the Mcinerney family. Without their father, Vince Mcinerney's guidance and vision, we might not be here today. Thank you very much for loaning your father to us, to our school, and to our football program. At this time, I'm honored to introduce Niambi Fetlow, a sophomore here at Pennsauken High School, member of the Double Dozen, who's going to sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Wow, great job, Niambi. Thank you. To begin our festivities, I'd like to first bring up another Pennsauken alum, Congressman Donald Norcross.
Wow, it's the first time I've been back in the gym for a while. I'm still looking for Ike Willis, who wants me to give back that pair of sneakers. And certainly Vince, so if you know my wife, all my driving habits came from your dad. So for those of you who were around back then. But Eric, for what you put together here, thank you very much. Mayor, my good friend, and we graduated, Steve Sweeney, who is now president of the New Jersey Senate. A remarkable time we spent here at the school. I want to tell you that one of us played soccer and one of us played football. We'll let you figure that out when Steve stands up. He was a much better football player, but it's great to be back here. And 4 of us brothers graduated from Pennsauken. Steve had his family, his 4 brothers. And a remarkable thing happened. I see Rick Taylor out here, who my mother knew on a first-name basis, not for the best reason, but we had the opportunity to get together, and there were 3 of the 4 of us were all suspended by Rick Taylor. So the real way to make it in the world is to make sure Rick Taylor suspends you and you'll go places. Did any of you ever get suspended? No, the athletes never got suspended, right? But it's remarkable to watch here in Pennsauken because of the fabric of our community and what it produced, whether the athletes behind us, those in academia, go on and on, because families cared. You know, we went home and mom and dads up the street called the other mom and dads, and we all got in trouble and they kicked our butt, so we did the right thing. You know, the working fabric of Pennsauken is what we're really, quite frankly, all proud at, that we excelled, whether it's athletics or academia, or in Steve's case, both, and now politics. It's just a remarkable place to grow up in, to have an education system, but then to come back and to see the 3 gentlemen behind me and who they represent is just the best of what Pennsauken has to give. God bless and congratulations.
Thank you, Congressman. Next, I'd like to bring up State Senator Sweeney. Thank you
again. Good evening, everyone. Isn't this awesome? These guys were our heroes. I got to tell you, you know, watching football and saying they're from Pennsauken. You know what I mean? Remember Pennsauken proud? Because we meant it. We stood for it. We believed in it. You know, and Rick Taylor suspended me too, just so you know that. In fact, Rick Taylor kicked almost everybody's butt. But Rick Taylor was probably one of the figures that really made an impact in my life. I mean, man, I'm the Senate President of the state of New Jersey. And I'm from Pennsauken, and I didn't go to college. But you know what I did? I went to Rick Taylor's college, which is, you don't do it right, we're going to put you in the corner someplace. But, you know, really, this is about the 3 gentlemen here. And unfortunately, David's not here. But, you know, the Hicks family. Everyone knew the Hicks family in Pennsauken, right? I mean, Dwight went the furthest, but you had a hell of a lot of good athletes in that family. Same with the Griggs and the Taylors. You know, I just want to tell you, we are so proud of what you accomplished in life. And for us, you know, to say, this Pennsauken, you know, a blue-collar community. I said this to Dwight earlier. You know, there was a lot of ugly stuff going on in the 70s even, but not here. There wasn't race. There was no BS. We were all just people. We all just hung out. We went to each other's homes. We were friends. And I think that's what really molded us to make us the kind of people we are today. So, look, it's an honor to be here with you guys. It really is. And it's Pennsauken proud. That's all I can tell you. Now, I have things, but I'm not going to, I'm not reading this crap, okay? But we have resolutions. Well, then listen, use your arms then. But we have resolutions that, it means a lot to me because I am the President of the Senate, and it's my signature on this that is being presented to you and each one of you. And we also have a combination here from Don Norcross, who's a Pennsauken High School graduate that's a U.S. Congressman now. So, look, and a lot of that started with watching what you guys did. Because you know something? You can do anything. You can accomplish anything if you just work hard and believe in it. So you guys were role models and really had an impact on all of our lives. Like I said, Mr. Taylor, his foot was on my you-know-what, but again, and Vince Mcinerney, like Don said, I'm the worst driver in the world, in the absolute world, because Vince taught me. But it was fun. I can tell you that. It was an experience. So honestly, guys, we're so proud of you. We're so proud of you. We talk about you still. And I watch NFL Network all the time, and I see the touchdown. I see the touchdown against the Bengals, and I watch you with the interception. I mean, it is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Congressman. And people are talking about Rick Taylor suspending people. Well, I never went to Pennsauken High School, but I'm a member of Township Committee, and Betsy McBride, she's on committee with me, and she has witnessed. Mr. Taylor has suspended me a couple times on Township Committee. But we're so happy to have you here tonight, big fella. All right. Let's have a big round of applause for Rick Taylor. I just want to mention, I'm a father of 5. My 3 boys came through this school. They're all doing very well. Not quite as great as these guys and the 2 gentlemen that preceded me, but you touched on something. This is a blue-collar town, and we are good people. Our diversity for years, long before we moved in with our family, is still strong and one of the strongest. This is one of our best attributes because we're one big neighborhood that everybody looks out for one another. And a lot of that stems and starts not only in the community and through the PYA program, but also here in our school system. Our school system, in our opinion, is second to none. We can get a little bit higher in some things, as we all can do. But ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause for this great town and this great school? All right, I want to say a few words about these 3 fine gentlemen sitting behind me. It's a proclamation from the Township of Pennsauken, and it says, whereas Pennsauken High School is renowned for its exceptional sports programs. Football in particular has helped many young men develop into well-rounded, skilled athletes. On this special occasion, we welcome the NFL to our community as they commemorate Super Bowl 50 with the presentation of gold footballs to honor our native sons. Isn't that wonderful? Whereas the NFL has celebrated the 50th anniversary of the Super Bowl with various events and dedications. One of the more unique ways they are commemorating this milestone was by recognizing schools throughout the United States that have produced a coach or a player that appeared in Super Bowl game. This is what makes Pennsauken stand out. In the years they have had the football program at the high school, several players went on to play at a professional level. An impressive 3 former players from Pennsauken made it to the Super Bowl. Dwight Hicks, class of '74. John Taylor, class of '80. And David Griggs, class of '85. Each had extraordinary careers. And whereas Vince Lombardi once said, football is like life. It requires perseverance, self-denial, hard work, sacrifice, dedication, and respect for authority. David, John, and Dwight understood these concepts. Throughout their careers, they showed character, strength, and dedication, all of which was rewarded with their accomplishments. David Griggs, who was a linebacker for the San Diego Chargers in Super Bowl 29, prior to his untimely passing. David would play 6 seasons with the NFL. Dwight Hicks played a defensive back for the San Francisco 49ers, which led him to 4 consecutive Pro Bowl appearances and 2 Super Bowl rings. John Taylor went on to become a 3-time Super Bowl champion as a wide receiver with the 49ers, making the winning touchdown catch against the Cincinnati Bengals in Super Bowl 23. Yes. Each of these talented men exhibited their athletic prowess and sportsmanship throughout their careers, built on the foundation they received at Pennsauken High School. Now, therefore, I, Jack Killian, filling in for John Conide, Mayor of Pennsauken, along with members of Township Committee, Betsy McBride, John Figueroa, and myself, and certainly Deputy Mayor Rick Taylor, hereby honor the alumni who are receiving the prestigious Golden Footballs from the NFL. We celebrate the careers of these exceptional men, as well as the NFL and our local Pennsauken High School sports program. Together, they have made this all possible. Gentlemen, you have made Pennsauken proud. Big round of applause.
Thank you, Mr. Killian. I've come to realize, as an alumni and as somebody who has had Mr. Taylor as a principal too, I too have been suspended by Mr. Taylor. So it's kind of cool to share something in common with everybody. Next, I'd like to bring up our head football coach, another Pennsauken alum, who not only has led our football team to state championships, but our track team to multiple state championships, Clinton Tabb.
First, in keeping with the theme, if anybody knows, I've probably been suspended by Mr. Taylor more than anybody. First, I would like to say, from me and my football players and my coaching staff, thank you for coming. You have inspired generations of kids. I graduated from here in 1997, and I can remember walking down the hallway, looking up at your Hall of Fame plaque saying, that's going to be me one day. I'm going to aspire for greatness. To my coaches, to the left, in the front, to the Mcinerneys, you turn boys into men. I would like to say thank you, and you're a part of this as well. Next, to my players. Could you stand up for a second? I constantly tell you and tell you and tell you about the past, about this program, about this school, about this township. Here's the living proof. This could be one of you guys one day. All you have to do is, like Mr. Hicks told you earlier, believe in yourself, compete with yourself. Don't take no for an answer. You get cut, you go back and try again. You fall, you stand back up. When you look at these young men, this is what I want for you. And if it doesn't happen, you still have all these successful men that have come through Pennsauken. You have senators, you have principals, you have mayors. You have all this in front of you. You can achieve everything you want. It's right in front of you. If you take anything from this, take that. Pennsauken graduate, Pennsauken graduate, Pennsauken graduate. This could be you.
At this time, I'd like to bring up the first of our three honorees. And I'd like you to forgive me if my inner schoolboy comes out a little bit, because you have to realize something. Growing up in Pennsauken, and I'm sure all you football players out there realize this, it's like nowhere else. Everywhere else in the world where we were playing street football, everybody probably fought over who got to be Jerry Rice or who got to be Joe Montana. In Pennsauken, we had fights over who got to be John Taylor. I'm not that big. I lost most of those fights. All right? But I'm honored to bring up our first honoree, a three-time Super Bowl champion, a member of the class of 1980. He earned varsity letters in football, bowling, and baseball. He went on to play football at Delaware State University and was selected by the San Francisco 49ers in the third round of the 1986 NFL Draft. He played his entire career with San Francisco from 1987 through 1995. Had 347 career receptions, 43 career touchdowns, with 2 kick return touchdowns. The 3 Super Bowls that he played in. Super Bowl 23, he caught the game-winning catch from Joe Montana in the final seconds to give San Francisco the victory over the Cincinnati Bengals. He also participated in Super Bowl 24, where the San Francisco 49ers defeated the Denver Broncos 55-10. And in San Francisco, at Super Bowl 29, where they defeated the San Diego Chargers 49-26. It's my honor to bring up fellow Pennsauken alumni, John Taylor.
Thank you. Unlike everyone here, everyone else that's been up, Mr. Taylor, I didn't get suspended. You gave me internal suspension. I didn't get external. I got internal suspension. But the person that kept me in line the most was, if I can get him to stand up, my dad. See, I wasn't always the good kid. I did wrong, but he kind of cut me in line real good, very good. I'm not going to be up here long because I know everybody has things they want to do. But I just want to tell all you youngsters out here, with the people up here and even the congressman, the senator, and everyone, don't ever think that it can't be you. That it can't be you. I never thought it would be me. I'm standing here, so I'm living proof that it can be you. It's just like Eric said, if somebody tells you something, don't give up on anything. If you're told you can't do it, go back and try it again. Only thing you can do is give it your all. If you don't make it, understandable. But don't just never quit because, oh, he's bigger than me or he looks better than me. I mean, I wouldn't want you to see it now, but if you saw a picture of me when I came out of high school, I'd be the last person you would think, hey, they know. They know. I'd be the last person you would have thought that would have played NFL football. And I honestly, my game was baseball. I was known in Pennsauken High School for baseball, not football. I was a walk-on. So that should tell you right there. You can do anything you want to do if you set your mind to doing it, And it just so happened that, unlike these guys, I can actually say, you know how you're playing in the street, playing football. If I make this throw, if I make this catch, we win the Super Bowl. I honestly lived it. Did I ever think it would happen? No, but it was the greatest feeling in the world. I mean, that's something you can never take from me. Take anything else you want, but that'll always stick with me. And I started right here, Pennsauken High. Just want to thank everybody.
To bring up the ball in honor of John Taylor, we have senior football and track standout Marquand Jones. Marquand and John will present the ball to Board of Education President Nick Perry.
And just one last thing. A lot of people don't know that when I was in the league, I wasn't the only one in the league. There was 4 other guys from Pennsauken in the league at the same time. 3 other guys on the same street that I lived on, and 1 a street over. So like I said, never think it can't be you.
I know I can speak for Mr. Taylor because he referenced the NFL Films video that a lot of you saw in gym class today on the Pennsauken 5. How 5 from the same street were in the NFL at the same time. That can be you. Next, I'd like to bring up somebody you heard from earlier, students. But he's a member of the class of 1974. He helped donate these scoreboards that we have in here in the gym. He played football at the University of Michigan. He was selected by the Detroit Lions in the 6th round of the 1978 NFL Draft. He played from 1979 through 1985 for the San Francisco 49ers and 1986 for the Indianapolis Colts. He has 32 career interceptions, 602 career interception yards. 3 of those interceptions were returned for touchdowns. He was a 4-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, played in 2 Super Bowls, Super Bowl 16, where San Francisco beat the Cincinnati Bengals 26-21, and Super Bowl 19, where the San Francisco 49ers defeated the Miami Dolphins 38-16. He's currently an actor. He has film credits that include The Rock, Armageddon. He's been on TV shows that include How I Met Your Mother, Castle, Cold Case, The X-Files, ER, and The OC. It's my honor to bring up Dwight Hicks.
Thank you very much, Eric. I only get 8 minutes to talk. I can talk about my mother more than that. But speaking of, yeah, she does. Speaking of that, I wouldn't be here without my mother. My dad died when I was 11. Never got to see me play football. But my mother was very inspirational in my life. She was my mentor, my rock, a disciplinarian. She's the best. And I want to thank her most of all. She's not here today. She's not feeling well. But she's been very instrumental in this community. And she is the one to taught me to be a good person. She's told me that no one was better than me, but I was no better than anyone else, so treat people the way you want to be treated. And always stick up for yourself. That has gotten me in trouble sometimes, but it was a very good lesson. Stick up for yourself. When you believe you're doing something right, you stand up for what's right, what's fair, and stand up for yourself. I've been very fortunate. When I started playing football, all sports really, no one in my family had played sports before. And I told the kids today that there was a defining moment in my life. I was around 6 or 7, watching cartoons on a Saturday morning, flipping the channels, and all of a sudden, I see this guy tumbling off this ski jump. It looked like he had broke his neck. He did survive, but then a voice came on, and it said, "The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, the wide world of sports." That's why I started playing sports, because of that moment. I don't know when it was for you, but you're going to have you young men and young ladies are going to have defining moments in your life. You never know when they'll come, but they will come. Listen to those moments. Pay attention to those moments, because they could change your life. Another thing that changed my life was playing football for PYAA. I had coaches like Jack Dillon, Tom Watson, Chuck Shipe, and Pat Doyle, who wasn't a coach, but he was a mentor for me. Leon Robinson was a mentor for me. We didn't have much, but they gave us guidance. They kept us on the right path, and I feel very fortunate about that. And as I continued, I came to the high school of Pennsauken. I had coaches like Vince Mcinerney, the late Vince Mcinerney, who we named that field out there for. Great coach. The reason why he's such a great coach and a good human being, a great human being, because he didn't care how good you were. He didn't care. He didn't give you special treatment. You were one of his football players, period. And no matter what you did, he always got the best out of you. I can remember coming to games. Bruce Jones is here. We used to ride in his 65 Chevelle before games. And I would tell him, Bruce, put on James Brown, put on the good foot. I remember that because that's part of who I am. I can remember Coach Del Rossi. One day we were going to practice, and it had rained, and it was mud and water on part of the field where the backs did our individual drills. Mr. Dell's a great guy. I said, Coach Dell, I said, it's wet and muddy here. Maybe we should move over and do our monkey rolls over there. And he looked at me, and he said, we're going to do them right here, right in the mud and water. I was pissed at him at the time. But what that taught me was that we were going to be playing in mud and rain sometime, and our uniforms were going to get wet. And you couldn't think about your uniforms getting wet. You couldn't think about that you're in mud. You had to think about the job at hand, and that was to play football and pay attention to what you were doing on the field. Thank you, Coach, for giving me that. I appreciate that. It meant a lot to me. Coach Tate is here. Coach Tate was a mentor as well. Hard man, tough lessons. I can remember one day in practice, he had the linemen running around, and we're in full gear, hitting and everything. We're in full gear, and all of a sudden, Coach Tate is taking the linemen around for a lap, going to another drill without their helmets. And Coach Dell looked at me and said, what the hell? And so Coach Mack looked at him and said, what are you doing, Coach Pete? What are you doing? He said, Coach, they're not using their helmets, so why wear them? Tough man. But it taught him a lesson. It taught us to pay attention. And if I could impart one thing to you gentlemen, as you go on your journey, pay attention. Be very wise about the decisions you make, because one decision might affect the rest of your life in a negative way. People want to pull on you, go here, go there. If it's not the right thing to do, don't walk away, run away. Those guys that tell you and want to bring you in that stuff, the negative energy, they're not going anywhere. And they want to pull you in to keep you from going somewhere. Run away from those people. They are not your friends. Before I went to Michigan, there's a gentleman here sitting in the stands. Elmer Polk, great basketball player here. I got a lot of fundamentals and discipline from coaches and other people in our community. Before I went to Michigan, I was shooting hoops not across the street here, but across the street from the middle school. It was hot. I had finished the workout. I just wanted to shoot some basketball because it was hot. I wanted to sweat. And Elmer Polk saw me shooting hoops. And he came over. And he says, Dwight, let's run one. So we played a basketball game. It was tough. We were scrapping. I lucked out and beat him the first game. And I thought, okay, that's it. God, I beat Elmer Polk, damn. And he said, let's run it back. I'm like, what? He said, let's run it back. We played, sweated. We're pushing, shoving each other. He beat me the second game. And I thought, okay, he won one, I won one. That's pretty good for me. He says, Dwight, let's run it back. Elmer wanted a winner. We ran it back. I lucked out and won the third game. I didn't know that at the time. Elmer Polk taught me how to compete. Because in life, you got to compete. I know that in our society today, we give trophies out for participation. It's a nice thing to do. I don't know, though. I have problems with that. I think that you have to earn your way. Because the world can be cruel. You have to learn how to compete. You have to learn how to go get what you want. And I don't think that is sending the right message. I just wanted to put that out there because that's not how I learned. I remember getting my first trophy, winning a championship at PYAA. We got a trophy and a jacket. I love that trophy. I love that jacket. Wore it proud. The second year, we came in second place. We got nothing. I missed that jacket. I missed that trophy. So I worked harder. But what I'm trying to tell you is this is a great community. It's great people. Bruce's mom, Ellen Jones, she was like a second mother to me. She took us around to our games when we used to travel PYAA to games. She took us around our high school games, going around the area, playing Camden Catholic, Woodrow Wilson, Cherry Hill West, Cherry Hill East, all of them. She was there. She didn't have to be there. She wanted to be there. That was part of my support system. Elmer Polk was part of my support system. Leon Robertson was part of my support system. Vince Mcinerney was part of my support system. Mr. Dell, Mr. Taylor, Mr. Ransone, Mr. Tate. I can go on and on and on. They were part of my support system. They shaped, and my mother shaped who I am today. I come back today to present this gold football to the high school to say thank you. Thank you, Pennsauken.
To bring up the gold football to be presented to the school in honor of Dwight and all his achievements, I'd like to bring up senior Amanda Bakley. And this ball will be presented to the principal, Mr. Greg Munford.
You're in the middle. Okay? You can hold it. We can hold it like this. Thank you, Amanda.
Our last honoree is David Griggs. David was a member of the class of 1985 at Pennsauken High School, where he played both football and basketball. David played college football at the University of Virginia and was selected by the New Orleans Saints in round 7 of the 1989 NFL Draft. David played for the Miami Dolphins from 1989 through 1993 and played for the San Diego Chargers in 1994, where he made and started in the Super Bowl. David had 14 and a half career sacks, 1 interception, and 4 fumble recoveries. He played in Super Bowl 29 against John, where San Diego lost to San Francisco 26-49. Unfortunately, David tragically passed away in 1995 after that season in a car accident. David will be represented tonight by his brother Billy. Billy played for the New York Jets from 1984 through 1990. Speaking on behalf of his brother David, I would like to introduce Billy Griggs.
Thank you. First, to Coach Tab for putting me on last after Dwight. I told him I'm only going to speak for 30 minutes. But I will be somewhere in between John and Dwight. Speaking of Dwight, I have to say this. First of all, I joke with you all the time, every time I see you or speak to you. But Dwight, for me, was the person that I looked up to playing football. Guys probably remember if you were from St. Pete's or PYA, you come to the game, especially PYA, they let you in free. You wear your jersey. You'd run around on the field on the hill playing football. And Dwight always did, he did things the right way, and you wanted to emulate him. And I always say, you're my hero every time I see you. And we joke about it, but it's true. It's true. So, I hope that the team sitting there tonight can look at us. And I used to, when I was coaching here, I came back to Pennsauken. I coached 2005 to 2008, and we had some good years. I think we went to the playoffs maybe a year or two. But in 2011, we won the state championship, and it was only by the grace of God. But I used to tell the team, look, you have the answers to the test. I'm the answers to the test. I used to tell guys in their ear, well, how do you do? What should you do? You got the answers. You guys have the answers to the test right here. And not just in us, but any guys that played at Pennsauken, any former player played extremely hard. Coach Mack made sure. Coach Mack, God rest his soul, he probably had, 10 plays maybe at the most that we ran? 10 plays. Drive 1, drive 2, drive 3, drive 4, Craig, And he run it back. And every once in a while, he throw a ringer in, drive 3 pass, where I would get to catch the ball. But it worked. It only worked because of the dedication, the hard work that he put in. It didn't matter. Teams knew what we were going to run. Whatever. It doesn't matter what Coach Tab puts in. He could put the same play in. But if you take it upon yourself to do the best on each play and beat the man across from you and determine not to be beat, it'll work. I used to scream 6 minutes. No, 6 seconds. 6 seconds. And I learned this. I was graduate assistant football coach at Temple, and the coach taught 6 seconds. If you just block for 6 seconds. Now in football, 6 seconds is a long time, as most guys know. They might make it to 4, but if you don't say 6 seconds, they're only going to block a second or 2 seconds. But if you keep moving, keep blocking, chase the runner for 6 seconds, good things are going to happen. And I'd be on the sideline screaming, 6 seconds, 6 seconds. What the heck's he talking about? But that's what I was talking about. Every play, it's only 6 seconds. And then you rest, and then 6 more seconds. And we won the state championship at Pennsauken. I was very proud of that. I stand up here today in representing David, my brother. It's bittersweet. I wish he was here to speak to you himself. David was probably one of the hardest workers coming from Pennsauken. He wasn't the fastest, wasn't the strongest, but he was nonstop motor. If you beat him, he was going to come back and beat you. He wasn't going to give up ever, never give up. I see a lot of my family here today. I'm glad that you could make it. I meant to say this. I never got suspended by Mr. Taylor because I was scared of what would happen from him when I got home. So David got he probably was a little more to handle. He got a little more trouble than me. I think my parents slowed down or something. After 5-year difference in between, they might have slowed down a little bit. But I like my father and my mother, Rocky and Doris Griggs, to stand up. They emulated what Pennsauken was all about: hard work and dedication to the community. You know, there's an old saying, a happy wife is a happy life. So I must say to my beautiful wife, Christine, who's here, if you'd please stand up also. I'd like to have a nice weekend. And to my brother's namesake, my son David. David was named after David. He's sitting there grinning. Only one time have I been mistaken for his grandfather. There's a running joke that who was the oldest person to have a child? I think Mr. Clark is the winner. Mr. Clark, I think it's it might be Craig. No, I think it's Craig Parker. I don't know if he might be the oldest. He has 2, so he might have beat you. He has 2. The rest of my family is here. Aunts, uncles, cousins. They're also here to support David. I was trying to keep it light. I didn't want it to be a somber moment. That's not how David was. Always a smile, always gregarious, laughing, joking. If any of his old teammates are here, he knew. You know how he was. And he's missed dearly. Code Red. I don't know how that. It's still there. You know, the old guys are Big Red. You know, Big Red now is Code Red. But, you know, it's still red. Yeah, I don't know how that came. I think Clinton might have came up with that at 45th Street or something. Came up with the term. To the football team, 2011 was the last time that we had a championship here at Pennsauken. Guys, I'm sure Coach Tab knows how to get in contact with any one of us for question about anything. There's nothing that you can't do. It's here. I mean, I played, and I'm happy. You know, you heard the accomplishments of these 2 gentlemen. You know, I caught a touchdown pass in a playoff game, and I thought that was, that was good. But I'm sitting there watching John catch the winning touchdown in the Super Bowl. Dwight, and arguably the best receiving tandem in him and Jerry Rice of all time, arguably. And Dwight, arguably the best defensive backfield of all time with Ronnie Lott, Eric. Right. So, I mean, this is all, yeah, I don't know if you understand the power of what's sitting up here or what this means. I mean, of all time, there's probably people that would chop their legs off to be, to be up here. I mean, this is big stuff. So if you ever need any type of information or need to talk or just want to, how can I get better? Whatever. Coach Tab knows how to get in contact with us. And, hopefully, it's hard to jump. I'm not saying a championship next year, but it's not hard and it's not far away, and we can do it. We just need a few more Rich Silverians, and we can do it. I mean, there's so many great players. I could talk, the guys, Jeff and Mike, and Craig, Bill Adair. I mean, just tough. Coach Ransone. I have, and I'm gonna be done. Coach Ransone, if you could, if you would have patented your phrase, "See my new shoes." Some guys remember, but when you're pulling, if you're blocking and you pull, "See my new shoes," that said it all. You'd be a millionaire. Oh, you might be a millionaire now. I don't know. But if you could have patented that phrase. So with that, I'm going to be done. I love everybody. Thank you. It's always a pleasure coming home and seeing everyone. And, I hope to see everybody later on tonight, too. Martino. And Mr. Taylor, I forgot. I hope you get well soon and feeling better. God bless you. Okay.
To bring up the goal of football that Billy will present in honor of David, I'd like to bring up Gary Mcinerney, son of Coach Vince Mcinerney, who will present the ball to head coach Clinton Tabb. Tonight has truly been a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, one that not only brings alumni of all ages together, but one that brings current students and those alumni together, one that brings PYAA, our future students, here to Pennsauken High School, so they can see the success that awaits them as long as they work hard and dedicate themselves. That's the theme that we've been hearing all night, hasn't it been? After this ceremony tonight, I challenge all of our former, current, and future students to find your passion. Let no one hold you back from achieving your goals. Luck is where preparation meets opportunity. It's never too early and never too late to start driving down the road to success. Prepare yourselves with passion, because you never know when opportunity is going to knock on your door. Thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you to our honorees for all you've done to put Pennsauken on the map. And thank you to all our future success stories that have yet to be written. We can't wait to honor you as well. Thank you.